I've destroyed people. I go into survival and destroy.
Whoa! Hello.
I've done it as a joke. Seriously, I've done it as a joke.
You know when I take
this bit here? This bit here looks nice. Sorry, I know I interrupted you. Go on, keep this bit there. That looks nice.
Did I text you Friday for?
I don't know if he texted me Friday. A lot of people message me now.
I think I did say I won't be long. I'm going on Friday.
Last Friday night. So did I. I was actually streaming.
Yes,
I recorded a video afterwards. Do you remember that, don't you, CC, Friday? I think keep the ones on the wall. The ones on the wall I like.
They are cheap, but it's not that money. You don't need that many, it's too much.
If I keep this one here, that looks nice, doesn't it?
Yeah, okay.
Do you have proper Minecraft?
I still want to camera.
Okay. So when you get proper Minecraft, why don't you make your own server? Then I can join the server and show you what I can build. I'll just have my day.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, no, Here we go.
Lightning never do be. Doobie doobie. Dee 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 dee. Dee 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 dee. Yes. Do 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 do. Lightning never. Rinse.
Reveal yourself!
Reveal yourself. No.
Hello, what a view this is. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about how I set my speakers up and subs up in all the processing equipment I have right here, and how to connect it exactly how I have mine hooked up. Alright, so first off, I will say there is a separate dedicated video for this, but I'll just quickly go over it. To get to the PC, we have like internet and power, computer running there. HDMI out of the computer runs into the receiver. The receiver then takes the audio from the HDMI and does all its processing and sends that out to the speakers and amps down here. And then the video sound from the HDMI runs along a nice 5-meter HDMI cord that runs up the wall there. And I know I need to get some coping there to get rid of that and hide it, but that's how that hooks up. So now let's go into detail of what settings I'm running on my receiver. Okay, so here we are in my Jack's Best Tunes playlist. If you're not following this, go and follow it on Spotify. But I'm now going to be using this now to show you what I'm setting up as far as here, or what I'm running. If you want a separate video again, running exactly or showing exactly how I would set a system up for your system, or you want to set something up similar to this, let me know in the comment section below and I'll show you how to set up a new system. But with that being said, let's have a look at how I set my system up. So auto calibration, auto phase matching it's good, but I rather do everything manually because I can put my own little taste to it and make everything sound exactly how I want instead of exactly how the system wants it to sound. So first of all, the speaker connection, you just want to set it up exactly how your pattern is. So I have mine set up with the center, the left, the right, the sub, and then the rear 2 speakers, which is pretty self-explanatory. I have a 5.1 system in here. The surround back speaker terminals are not being used. I'd love to use them at the moment. If my Kenwood amp in my other room dies, I'll run a line of cable through the wall into that room and use the secondary speakers or outputs of the Sony receiver to power them in there. And I'll just use them as zone 2, so I can just play music through zone 2 and Bluetooth stream from my bedroom into this room to the receiver, and then play music through the speakers in my bedroom. That's really confusing sounding, but if you think about it, it's really, really easy to understand. But okay, so as far as the output of the subwoofer from this Sony receiver, I just run a low pass filter on it, so it only lets low frequencies go through the subwoofer out, which just saves the extra hassle. But I still EQ it all out on my EQ anyway of higher frequencies coming through. However, it's a great feature to have this hooked up in the receiver because you can turn that off and run full range out to like a separate amplifier if you want to use them for different things. However, what happens with the subwoofer outputs, if you have seen my other video, you'll already know this, that goes from the two RCA subwoofer outputs then make their ways into a cable that is an RCA to 1/4 inch cable, which goes from the subwoofer outs into the input of this equalizer just here. Then equalizer just here is EQ to my likings, a massive boost on 20 to 25 hertz just because low frequencies are awesome. I have a dip in 40 hertz because that comes excessively booming in this room. And then again, a big boost at 63 and 80 hertz because the subs are tuned so low. In order to get them to be musical, I need that little boost in those frequencies. And then we roll off around 100 to 120 hertz, just where my front, left and right speakers start to pick up. So as well, you can see here I have the output meter set to +5 decibels. So what that does is increases the signal, almost working as a preamplifier, increases the signal coming from this amplifier, going down, increase the signal, and then makes its way down into my Serlin Vega amplifier that I always run at 12 o'clock. You can see on all my Serlin Vega amps, I'm only using the bottom one, by the way. You can see on all of these amps, all the volume knobs are at 12 o'clock because that is exactly where I like to run it, just because it makes my OCD work wonders. Everything's perfectly symmetrical. I know that's a little bit annoying, but if I was to set that straight and adjust the other one, that would bother me. I have terrible OCD. But anyway, that's how my subs are set up and EQ'd as well. It's completely separate to the amplifier in this Behringer equalizer just here. And then from the Behringer equalizer, we use the XLR outputs into some nice high quality Nutrix connectors and really good quality audio cables because you don't want to be getting noise in the cables. So always go for expensive cables, not stupidly expensive.
Yeah, but where? He said he's done a video before.
Alright, so before I explain to you how my system is hooked up, I want your completely honest thoughts and opinions on the video quality, because that right there on my couch is my normal camera rig, a Canon 80D with a kit lens at 18-55mm f3.5 with a Joby GorillaPod and a Rode VideoMic Pro, and obviously it's sitting just there on the couch, and that is due to the fact that that camera has to go back under warranty. Because if you look in a lot of my previous videos, somewhere around here, there is a dead pixel. So that's going back under warranty to be replaced. So I just want your personal and honest thoughts on the video quality that I'm yielding off my phone right now. I'm trying my hardest with lighting and things like that. And I will be editing and rendering it in 4K just to get the best possible things so you don't miss out too much. But yeah, that is why the video quality is now 30 frames a second instead of the normal 60. But with that being said, today I'm going to be explaining to you how my simple process, and I'll explain that to you now. So we have a look behind the Sony STR DN1050 receiver of mine. You'll see that there are two subwoofer outputs, both in RCAs. These two subwoofer outputs of the RCAs then go into a cable that is a RCA to 1/4 inch jack. Both these 1/4 inch jacks go into each channel of my Behringer equalizer, which I use as a booster for the signal, and it allows me to EQ frequencies out and in. These subs are tuned particularly low, so that 40 hertz gets quite boomy, so I like to cut a little bit of that out and add in some higher frequencies to get a much flatter response. Then once it goes through the the EQ, I run an XLR cable out of both channels, and then that goes into both channels of the Serlin Vega amp. That is how simple it is for my system in here to be hooked up, and it's a very quick little video explaining that, just so people that are asking now know. So if your question's been answered and you're going to do something similar, it's the RCA output of that into a cable that's an RCA. Oh. Yeah.